Boys, I've got bad news and I've got bad news. If you're a fan of the Call of Duty franchise, it's been a pretty rough go the last few months, last few years, and frankly, with the news that I've just seen today and some of the other things we're going to talk about throughout this video, it's not looking good. Now, I am excited for Black Ops 7 multiplayer especially, but in regards to the news that we have for Warzone and future progression into Modern Warfare 4, which is the 2026 release, I don't know what they're gonna do to hang with Battlefield 6 because they've been putting belt to butt when they release their beta, and community sentiment is at an all-time low. We're trying to catch some wins to rally up momentum for Black Ops 7, but you guys know me. I'm never one to blow smoke up your ass and pretend like Call of Duty's great. I am like the most objective person when it comes to praising this game when things are awesome, but lately it's been underwhelming, and it just gets even more underwhelming with this news story here. The Ghost of Hope, who is well known for being early news, early info, leaking, and I'm not someone that likes to like leak lore or trailers, but when it comes to gameplay design decisions, I'm all about getting that conversation out there early because it's going to affect the game that we play. So if you can voice our concerns early, then ideally we can make some changes in the right direction. And what he tells us is there is a new Resurgence map for Warzone currently planned to release with Black Ops 7 integration in Season 1 in late 2025. Normally they'll release the base game, so Black Ops 7 releases November 14th, and then they'll have the Season 1 like 2 weeks to 3 weeks or a month later, so we can expect Season 1 to be in early December. And there is no new big map. We still are going to be on Verdansk. We'll talk about that more in a moment. But they're also releasing a new small map. And apparently some people have playtested it a while back in person, and I heard nobody liked it. I personally haven't playtested it, but this just sounds like Area 99 2.0. Yeah, if you don't remember, we used to have a new small map on a desert map, all Nuketown themed of Area 99, and they pulled it from the game and no one touches it anymore because the map sucked. And it looks like we're getting round 2 because they are putting it, according to Charlie Intel and Hope, inside an extended version of Liberty Falls. So once again, I think these rebirth maps typically excel when it's bright, beautiful, vibrant. Think Fortune's Keep, Vondel, Rebirth Island. Those all have done really well, but dark, moody, gloomy. I don't know if they're going to be able to make Liberty Falls an exciting map. And apparently the people that have playtested it early aren't that excited about it either. And yeah, it's inside of Liberty Falls, which was kind of a poorly received zombies map for Black Ops 6. But we have to keep in mind that we also will not be getting to use the new map of Avalon. But hey, look at me making Battlefield content. Who would have thought? So many of you thought I would never jump away from COD, but when a better alternative comes along, it's that much easier to switch, just like the sponsor of today's video, Fume. If you're struggling with a bad habit that you're trying to break, like vaping, and you need something to help you bridge that gap, check out Fume. It is a flavored air device meant to have that familiar mouthfeel, that familiar draw, satisfying flavors that help you get over the jitters and the nerves as you're trying to break that bad habit. And again, it is just flavored air. There is no nicotine, no vapors, no combustion, no batteries, none of that, no sticky, icky residue. It is just flavored air with natural flavors helping you break your bad habit. Over 500,000 people have already made the switch to Fume as part of their habit-changing journey. If you're ready to try it out for yourself, now's the time. For a limited time, if you order the Journey Pack using my code, IceManIsaac, you'll get a free Fume topper and awesome accessory to level up your experience. Click the link, try fume.com/IceManIsaac, or scan the QR code on your screen to get yours today. Thank you to Fume for sponsoring today's video. Originally, it was expected that that beautiful map, stunning, legitimately stunning map that we saw with the launch of Black Ops 6, where it went bird's eye view and you could see this beautiful bright map with all the colors and oceans and skyscrapers, that was supposed to be a Warzone map for 2026, but they scrapped it for 2025 actually. It was supposed to be this year's map, but they scrapped it for the re-release of Verdansk. Many people were expecting it to come at the launch of Black Ops 7, but that is not the case either. It has been confirmed that for the rest of 2025, and I guess this is unofficially confirmed, right? They haven't stated anything, but everyone who has their finger on the pulse of what's happening with Call of Duty says Verdansk will be here throughout all of 2025. And I love the map. I'm thrilled they brought it back. I think that was a great marketing decision, business decision, but people are going to get bored of it quick. That was pretty expected. And now instead of having a map rotation like Apex, we're sitting on the same map over and over and over again. For now, it'll likely probably be at least another year of Verdansk, where we might have a new map integration come next April if they do Avalon. but everything they've said is Avalon is scrapped, for at least for the BR. Okay, so we have a lot to cover. There's even more beyond this, but initial impressions are kind of rough. I was expecting whenever they launched Verdansk that they would have had a wave of content because we had no new content in Urzikstan. They launched Verdansk, great job with the anti-cheat, great job with optimization. All they have to do is keep the content flowing. Not a lot of content has been flowing. Anti-cheat's been getting their ass kicked, and then Battlefield comes out and just completely blows everyone out of the water. And I don't know if it's a technical issue when it comes to map rotations with the old PS4 and Xbox. That's what Ghost thinks the issue is. But even for COD, which is seemingly bulletproof, the best that they've hit on the PlayStation 5 pre-order charts is number 8. Normally, when they open up pre-orders, they are top of the charts instantly. They are behind 2K, Battlefield, football, soccer, Battlefield, Metal Gear Solid, Borderlands 4, and then Black Ops. Now, there's some really badass stuff actually coming for Black Ops multiplayer that we'll talk about here in a second. And we have some other things coming to Warzone that we're going to talk about. But this is rough. This is rough. I have loved playing Battlefield, and I would love to have two battle royales to play at the same time. But right now, it looks like Battlefield is potentially going to be taking COD by storm. Now, we still have Call of Duty Next coming up in a month or so, a couple months, right at the end of September, beginning of October. They're going to have Call of Duty Next and World Series of Warzone. And that's really when we're going to get a chance to see what they have in store for us. But for right now, it's not looking good. Battlefield, the Black Ops 7 reveal trailer not only got smoked in terms of dislikes, but you can kind of say that the dislike counter isn't accurate. It's always blown out of proportion, but the likes are public, and the likes are like at a record low for Call of Duty, all the way back to like Infinite Warfare sort of vibes. And everyone is also just talking about Battlefield 6. Now, I'm big of the camp that it's not Battlefield versus COD. I think both games can succeed if they trust and develop to their core identity. But I feel like COD has been in such an identity crisis for such a long time, and Battlefield is coming back so true to its roots with so many badass things like Portal, a battle royale, not even potential. A battle royale is confirmed, and then their multiplayer beta blew everyone out of the water. Like, I don't know if COD is going to be able to hang this fall, and that's why you've seen me making a lot of Battlefield content and having a lot of fun while I do it. But in fairness, Battlefield is a month ahead of the punch. They released a month earlier, which could be a good thing, but at the same time, if Black Ops 7 comes in hot, they could steal all of Battlefield's thunder. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the recap, and we're also gonna talk about some more leaks, some more commentary, and some things, especially on the Warzone side, that are needed in order to keep this franchise floating and redeem the glory that it once had. So for multiplayer, actually awesome here. They have 16 maps at launch. I believe it's 13 brand new maps and then 3 remasters of classic maps. And they also have 2 20v20, kind of adding into the ground war style. 30 weapons, overclocks, hybrid perks, specialties, new perks, score streaks, and more. Zombies, they have 8 playable characters, some other round-based maps. Not really my cup of tea, but that's there for that. Campaign, I think this is amazing. I will actually gas this up a lot. So many games have gotten rid of co-op campaigns, and it's like one of my favorite pastimes as a kid. The fact that you can drop in, drop out, play with your friends, amazing. And then they have a whole in-game system after this, which we'll talk about here in a moment. But I really, really, really hope that they give campaign early access so people don't have to choose between campaign and multiplayer. I think that would be a huge thing to help kind of gain that player trust and get people to experience all sides of Call of Duty, because they're gonna have a lot to fight against, because Battlefield 6 is gonna be in full speed when this game drops. Next level Omni movement, including wall jump. There is no tac sprint by default. There's a perk for it, which I would prefer. I don't like the fact that, you're constantly getting penalized for tac sprint. I just think they need to remove it altogether and just give all of the base sprint, good sprint, and then maybe have a melee sprint. So I have walking, sprinting, and then a melee sprint. I don't like having a tac sprint in there in the mix. And then they have mastery progression camos as well, which I think is amazing, but at the same time, it also feels like more chores to do. If your content's not good and the only thing you're doing is grinding, that's, kind of a sign of a lack of content. But I do like that they're adding more mastery camos in there as well. So for this, and we'll talk about this in a future video because there's a lot to talk about here. Once you beat the campaign, there's an end game that unlocks, and it's a 1 to 32 player PvE experience on Avalon, the map that you've seen flown around in the background. that was supposed to be a Warzone map, but now is only for the campaign. And you can see some clips in the trailer of people dropping in with wingsuits and flying through Avalon. It seems like it's going to be probably like a DMZ light. A lot of people have talked about how DMZ is, in its phase of development of DMZ 2.0 for the next Modern Warfare. I feel like this is going to be testing out a lot of features that we would see in next year's Call of Duty and the future iteration of DMZ, because if you die, you lose all your gear and have to restart. So a lot to talk about there, but that is another feature coming to Black Ops 7. In terms of how the game actually looks, I like the way the game looks. And I know it's a lot more arcadey and it's not as realistic, but that's where I think COD thrives and shines, is not trying to mix and match. I like a realistic and gritty vibe, but arcadey gameplay. Or in my Treyarch titles, I'm down with it looking arcadey and all the time, but don't give me arcadey vibes and then omni movement that's full of clunk and animations and sway. And it seems like, and I'll show you some more gameplay here in a second, that Call of Duty is making things a little bit cleaner with this title. So some things I want from you in the comment section and as a viewer. We're going to be talking about some things that Activision should consider with Black Ops 7 and the launch of Black Ops 7. And comment down below what you think they need to change, because I have a few things that I'm going to mention, but this isn't another maintenance year for Call of Duty. I legitimately think Battlefield is going to have a massive impact on Call of Duty's success, and rightfully so. Call of Duty has neglected their audience on a lot of fronts for a while, whether it's content, lack of anti-cheat. I'm still pissed off about all my skins getting ripped out of Warzone from the Warzone 2 integration, but they're going to need to do something huge, and not just some new guns, some new maps. They're going to need to do something huge to earn player trust back, and here's some things that I agree with. Skill-based matchmaking, reduce it. I love how it felt, and I'll talk about it here in a moment with Battlefield and how their team balancing versus skill-based matchmaking system radically changed the way that I enjoyed multiplayer gaming in a way that I haven't felt in years grinding COD. Get rid of lobby disbanding. If someone beats me in one game, I want to face them off in the next game and go head-to-head and have a grudge match. Don't transfer over BO6 skins. All the Beavis and Butthead, all the American Dad, all that carry forward right now is set to come into Black Ops 7. So even with this really badass futuristic aesthetic, they are going to bring in all of those skins that are just destroying the vibe of the game. At the very least, they need to not bring them into future games, which I think might contractually be an issue, because maybe they made a deal with those partnerships of American Dad and stuff that they would come over. But if they could add a toggle that I can have milsim only skins, that would be a good middle ground where I don't have to deal with those cartoony skins. They don't piss off the brands. But more importantly, more than anything, don't piss off the players. And I actually like the UI for this game. So some other things that people have been calling out. Biggest thing that they mentioned here is the carry forward. I think this is the thing that people hate the most. This is the OG MW 2019 loading screen of Coalition versus Allegiance. And now we've just got a whole bunch of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Nicki Minaj, American Dad. I'm not a super realism bro, but it's bad. It's completely crushed the vision and soul of this game, all for the sake of getting some quick cash. And it's the Fortnite-ification of Call of Duty is, I'm over it. Okay, so let's talk about some other things. J God brought this up, and this is one that I don't think a lot of people realize, but I want to scream from the mountaintops how freaking stupid this is. J God went out and played the game early, and it's already a pain in the ass to unlock all these guns, okay? You have to level up a weapon all the way and get it to max level, call it level 40, level 50 to unlock all the attachments. But then, if you want to unlock a weapon mod or I'm drawing a blank on what it's called. It's not like a new blueprint, but it's like an aftermarket kit. Like an aftermarket kit that makes the gun feel like a totally new gun. You have to then prestige the weapon, bring it all the way back to level 1 and level it all the way up. So if you wanted to use the aftermarket part and the attachments up at level 40, level 50, you have to level the gun twice. Could you imagine doing this for Warzone? Like imagine I drop a new meta and it's the gun that you want to use. Not only do you have to get it max level, you have to prestige it, get the aftermarket part and re-max level it. If that's the case, dude, you want to talk about having chores for the sake of playtime and retention? That's BS. I hope they get rid of it. Other things, moving forward. I love how the game is looking more arcadey, but all of the visual recoil, the smoke, the aim sway, the haze, I know I'm gonna have to fight this fight again when Infinity Ward drops their title in 2026, but please, for the love of God, Black Ops 7. Omni movement already feels really floaty because of all these movement stuff. When I'm jumping, my gun is bobbing all over the place, despite the fact that the whole game is designed on movement being key. I can't jump shot. I can hardly slide cancel without my gun going all over the place. And now we're adding wall jumping. And I've already seen in some of the wall jumping clips, the guns are kind of swerving in your hand a little bit. Don't brag about movement and then give me crappy visibility and then crappy movement penalties. If we're gonna make an arcade shooter, let's make an arcade shooter and freaking own it, okay? Here's some footage that we'll play real quick. This is some, like that for example, I worry about. I know it may not seem like much, but he jumps off the wall, he aims down sight, and I hate when that rear sight completely covers up your front sight, even if it's for a millisecond. It didn't do it in previous CODs, didn't do it in some of the early ones, and I worry about little stuff like that. I will say in some of the gunshot stuff that I've seen, it seems like the muzzle flash and muzzle smoke comes out the sides of the gun, but doesn't go up in front and actually like block what you're trying to see as a target, which I think is a good middle ground if they're trying to make the game look realistic, but not, also not clutter up my visibility. I know it seems like a little thing, but if all these little things add up to where when you play the game, something just feels off. Those are some of the things for me that really feel off. But on the whole, while I don't think the Black Ops 7 hate necessarily is warranted, the COD franchise as a whole, absolutely, they've earned it over the past 5 years, but Black Ops 7 looks pretty dang fun. And for a multiplayer experience, I think it's gonna be awesome. For Warzone, I think we're a little bit shocked. Nice little thing here, I will mention they added a build code thing to the game, so when I give you a build for a loadout, you no longer have to take screenshots of the individual attachments. You can just take a screenshot of the build code, and when you type it into the game, it will give you that full build in game. Ever remember the days of having to take screenshots of individual tunes? We are far beyond that, thank goodness. Again, I really hope they do a campaign early access. Co-op campaign is amazing. I think it makes for great content and great camaraderie with your buds, but I think they need to make it early access so people can, one, pre-order the game if they want to, and two, it doesn't cause them to skip out on it so they can start their multiplayer grind. I sent out a really interesting tweet that I got a lot of great replies from, where I told people to basically make your ideal Warzone setup. And what it showed is a lot of people aren't infatuated with Omni movement, and a lot of people aren't infatuated with the current maps that we have. And in my ideal world, if we could rotate maps, I would say we rotate Al Mazrah and Verdansk. But if we can't, honestly, since we've had 6 months of Verdansk, I would love 3 months of Al Mazrah, 2 months of Al Mazrah, just a single season of Al Mazrah, because it's such a great map, but it was tainted by the MW2 gunplay and penalties. Small map, it's been forever since we've had Vondel and Fortune's Keep. Another thing that we could bring back to help spice up the content. Weapons, more is kind of a testament to gunplay, where I think the MW 2019 era, the Cold War era, and even at the end of the Vanguard era, where dozens of ARs were viable, but all of them had super clean sights. Like, I remember shooting that old AMAX, even though it punched, I didn't have the smoke and haze and shake. Shooting the old Kilo, like none of the guns feel the same because of all that obscuration that just ruins at the touch of the game that we get on to play every day. I keep hitting on it, just praying that someone in one of the studios will listen. I personally like MW3 with default perks, especially climbing boots, which we still haven't gotten back into COD. That's why mantling feels so slow and sluggish. I think Omni movement feels too floaty. My camera is rocking back and forth, and OG vehicles were better. The Hummer EV was badass. We haven't had iron trials in 4 years of the game, and also buyback solos. We've had like one LTM a season. That's like every 8 weeks we get a new LTM. And then also I miss nuke runs, bunkers, and specialists. Comment down below if you have any variation of this. I'll read out some other ones. A lot of people are saying Al Mazrah was the best. Rebirth and Vondel were the best. The OG metas were the best because they felt the best to shoot. A lot of people agree MW3, like Omni movement's kind of overrated. Add MW3 with bunny hopping and unlimited tactical sprint. Shout out my boy Zyro. This is a great take. I miss buyback solos. Obviously the working anti-cheat, like that goes without saying. I would want to say that, but it kind of goes without saying. I will say in my recent experiences playing, I feel like the anti-cheat's been better. I haven't noticed as many cheaters, but they're kind of fighting an ever-losing battle. But with Black Ops 7, it is mandatory to have secure boot, which could be a nice change. And we saw success with it with Battlefield 6 during the Battlefield 6 beta. Other guys saying a lot of the same things. On Mazra, they like the Cold War era, they like the MW3 era, and bring back the buyback modes. Like, we don't need to reinvent the wheel for a lot of this stuff. Like, bring back some fan favorite LTMs like the buybacks. Bring back, you know, maybe some of the fan favorite guns and try to clean up Omni movement. Tully, who we lost, he was a Raven software developer who gave us some of these best times, like the trials, like the MW3 movement that we had last year, and especially like the good weapon balance that we had. So he's a little biased, but I did want to include this in here because he knew what he was doing, and I really liked the gameplay that we had under Raven's leadership. But at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing for me is skill-based matchmaking. The experience that I had with team balancing in Battlefield, and if you're not familiar with how it works, basically Battlefield says, okay, we have 30 squads that want to queue up in this match. I have an S tier squad, so I'm going to put an S tier squad on the other team. If I have 4 A tier squads, I'm going to put 2 A tier squads on this team, 2 A tier squads on this team. I have 10 C tier squads, I'm going to put 5 here, 5 here. So you can go through the match and still feel a diverse set of players, but occasionally you're going to run into a higher level player. But it's not like you're waiting in a 5-minute queue or a 10-minute queue. Legitimately, I've been in solos queues for 10 minutes to get into Verdansk. And everyone that I run into that lobby is a demon, and it's just miserable. Like, if there was ranked solos, screw it, send me in it. But it felt so fresh playing the Battlefield 6 beta because everything actually felt like I was interacting with real players. Players were better than me, and I got slammed, especially by some good vehicle players or squads that were playing tight together. But I also got to go against other players and stomp them. But then they would start playing tight as a squad, and you could only overwhelm them so much. It felt like a human experience and not a manipulated experience. And man, if they wanted to do something that would instantly make it more exciting for me to consider playing multiplayer, they got to change the EOMM SBMM. Because Battlefield, when it's 32v32 and team balancing, it feels amazing. 6v6, super crank skill based. Everyone in the lobby is a demon on both sides. It's freaking miserable. You're forced to use the meta, you're forced to sweat your ass off, and you just want to hop off immediately. If you get any better at the game, you go from a C tier player to a B tier player, congratulations, you're now against 6 other B tier players, you're punished for getting better. Until you become the ultimate top level player, it's miserable. And then you still have to use the ultimate meta. So for me, that would be the only thing that really actually makes me excited to play Black Ops 7 multiplayer. No matter how good the gunplay looks, no matter how exciting a lot of their changes are and a lot of the maps are, the second that I get on those maps, after SBMM, EOMM kicks in after about 2 hours of gameplay, if that, it's straight back into the blender and I'm bored. Co-op campaign's awesome. The 1v32 PvE is awesome. Zombies are cool if you're into that, but if they don't change the SBMM, if they release another crappy small map, and if they do nothing for big map except for just keep slowly regurgitating Verdansk content, which, woohoo, you opened up Stadium, and that was opened up 3 years ago. That's not new content. You gave me a great value Nakatomi Plaza instead of the actual full-up Nakatomi Plaza. You know, I love COD, but they got a lot to prove. They got a lot to prove. So I hope to be involved with Call of Duty next this year. As always, if I go, I'll give you my honest opinions. I'll keep my finger on the pulse of this game to let you know kind of where my leanings are. Right now, Battlefield came in hot. The beta impressed me. They've got my attention. They're dropping earlier. They're dropping a new BR. Black Ops 7, it's in a rough spot. It's off the back of a couple rough launches and very little content for Warzone. They've got to do something really impressive to earn back the player base trust. And it's not just going to be new content. It's going to be radical changes like the lobby disbanding, like the SBMM, EOMM, like server tick rate, like Ricochet, although they are adding secure boot. COD's really got to fight for my attention, and I'm sure it's probably the same way for you. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below what you think Black Ops 6, 7 needs to do to earn your trust back and your gameplay back. And yeah, shout out again to Fume for sponsoring today's video. It's all about breaking bad habits. You can check them out down in the pinned comment and the description. And who knows, this fall I might be breaking my bad habit and going full in on Battlefield 6. But hope COD proves me wrong. Hope they earn me back. We'll just have to wait and see. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Subscribe if you did. Drop a like, and I will see you all on the next one. Peace.